So based on the information you've gathered and little bits of information that you're getting out of practice, is there anything that has stood out to you since we're about halfway through?
When you asked me before what I was looking forward to from spring practice, the number one thing I said was player progression. And that's going to come at the expense of like the whole, if you will, the developing the individuals. And I mean that in this way. If you have guys, Dan Enos has spoken about with the quarterback position, the goal is to basically, tear them down to the studs and then rebuild. It's like Tiger Woods, after winning the U.S. Open by a record number of strokes, he fired his swing coach, got a new swing coach, and went back to the lab to rebuild his swing from the ground up. And everybody's like, yo, what are you doing? And that work will eventually be seen. But right now we're in the midst of that work. We're in the middle of a home renovation. So, Dan Enos, again, because he spoke about this after practice yesterday, was talking about, working on footwork, working on drop timing, working on arm angle, working on ball placement, working on these fine tuning things. And that's more important than the number one offense going out and getting 500 yards in practice and whatever, because you're really taking the time to develop the areas of deficiency for all of the players. So there is a lot that is going on. Obviously, shuffling around the offensive line to find a group of five and getting that group of five coherent is a big thing. Now, again, we thought that things were going in that right direction at this time last spring. And then Gregory Rousseau had like 17 sacks that first scrimmage. And then the whole offensive line was like, no, we're going to switch all this around because you got this 6'7" freshman who played outside linebacker, safety, and wide receiver in high school, puts his hand in the dirt because he's a great pass rusher finally in the college level, and you can't block him at all. And this is his first time really doing that. Whoa, pause, timeout. So, yeah, obviously the offensive line, that's a big thing. The quarterbacks and getting them to the requisite level. Dan Enos, and I know I'm talking a lot about him, but he said it yesterday. None of the quarterbacks are championship caliber right now, but you're in the process of getting them to where you want them to be. Wide receivers staying after, working on their hands and consistency. Obviously finding out who's going to be there in the defensive backfield. Excuse me, because you're battling a couple of injuries. So you're still looking for your starters on safety, your starter at that second cornerback position. Learning Amari Carter is going to play probably some dime or some nickel. He's going to come down and because he can play that short area man-to-man defense really well. You're looking at all these different parts and pieces, but you're really kind of it's all, and I like cooking, obviously. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, I talk about cooking and talk about food a lot. Right now, you're prepping all of the different parts of Thanksgiving separately. So mac and cheese is over here, collard greens are over there, the turkey's here, the ham. You're doing all these things individually, and later in the fall, you're going to bring all of that back together. So, yeah, there are things that, we can talk about at every single position probably. Cameron Harris used to be last name Davis, changed his name to Harris in honor of his father. He's pushing to be the starting running back now. And this time last year, he was the other running back in the class because we had, five-star Lorenzo Lingard. Lorenzo Lingard gets hurt. DJ Dallas is still there. Cameron Harris says, look, I don't care who's here. I'm going to be that guy. I'm pushing myself, to move forward. So there's that happening at a lot of positions. There are guys who are moving forward. But again, I would say, don't necessarily look at the spring to give you the final result of what's going to happen or the final part of development. This is an ongoing process, and this is where these guys get better. Because if you're talking about wanting to see more from Mark Pope, wanting to see more from D. Wiggins, wanting to see more from those guys, this is the time to help them develop, to give you that more that the team needs and that the fan base wants to see when August rolls around.
Cam, I want you to know that if you're having a rough day, tough day at work, whatever else is going on, what you do is you go to any of the live chats we've had, any of the live streams, and you go and you can click on the live chat and you can actually recreate the live stream and the live chat that was there, and you just read through the comments. And because the folks, they can't wait for Wednesday night to hear from you. So there's a lot of good comments, and I appreciate you guys actually, affirming what we do here, and in particular Cam's analysis. So there's some definite appreciation there.